technology was launched. Prior before GSM technology, Nigeria's population were 150 million citizens, but less than 0.5%, 100,000 people have access to telephone. In 3 years, they rose to 40%. Last year, 198 million Nigerians have access to telephone. So it's not the technology that will help us to bridge the gap. It's the business model. And based on that, we developed a blockchain technology that can allow us to remotely move the data we have from the IoT technologies and make it transparent, make it traceable, and increase the trust in the carbon market. And that is what we've been able to do, targeting the low and poor income household who contribute the major block of the people we want our technology to serve. And with this technology, we've been able to prove that even though carbon credits have the issue of vintage years, you can actually tokenize it and make it more attractive for our off-taker market. So what we've done for this is that we, within 3 years, have moved our capacity from 70,000 to 500,000, because our business model allows us to be able to give our users the product for free and allow them to pay them for using it. If we want to also sustain what we are doing in the carbon credit space, we also need to make it more long-term, that the users will avoid coping strategy. We know what the coping strategy is. Within the trouble region, where you give them the stoves, when they are pressed for cash, they sell the stoves to be able to solve basic household needs. So to solve this chicken and egg problem, we are now paying our users every quarter. Once we've been able to validate that our product and our technology has been in use for a certain particular time, then we'll be able to pay them. So once they look out for the cash benefits, they're able to start using our products. And this happens on the blockchain because the blockchain gives us the ability to be able to track, to trace, and to be able to reward accordingly using the technologies around what we've promoted. I thank you for the opportunity. This is Powerstove. Thank you.
Thanks, Okey. We now move to our final talk of the morning. And from the innovation with data in clean cooking to innovation with data across the energy access space. Bboxx started their journey in solar home systems over a decade ago. And they've since built out both their digital and physical infrastructure to provide goods and services across multiple markets, giving their consumers a unique integrated modern energy experience. We're delighted to have Laurent with us to share more about Bboxx.
Thank you. Let me start by giving you a smiley face of one of our agents. So I'm one of the co-founders of Bboxx. I'm the CEO. We started, for those who don't know Bboxx, it's the first time we're at the conference. But we started with two of my co-founders at university in London in 2010, so 12 years ago. And the aim was really to tackle the problem of energy poverty and to give essential services and goods to customers across Africa. So we're not a clean cooking company at start. We've been mainly focused on solar home system. I'm sure some of you have seen the growth of the solar home system sector in Africa. I mean, we rode that growth. We're in 12 African countries, vertically integrated. We've got 4,000 employees, millions of customers, hundreds of distribution points. We've built a digital platform to manage billions of payments, hundreds of billions of data points. So we went through this massive scale-up on the solar home system side, but we're always looking at our customers, or millions of customers, and trying to figure out, okay, what do they need? And they're spending a fortune, you know it, on firewood, on charcoal, and we're looking like, how can we help them? How can we provide them a more safer, reliable, affordable, and also what we should not forget is people in rural Africa, they have massive aspirational. it needs to be aspirational. They don't want to be seen like this is a low-income solution. So, and that's always how we've positioned the Bboxx brand. So that's how we started looking at it, and then I'll tell you a bit the story of how we went from a 100% solar home system company 3 years ago to now some of our markets having 20% of their revenue from cooking. So we were in Kinshasa, we were in this conference in Congo, and some scientists were showing us satellite imaging of the forest. Congo is the second largest forest in the world, and you could see that around 10% of the forest was disappearing almost every year, as you have 100 million people in Congo cooking on charcoal. That was pretty crazy and pretty scary at the time. So we tried to figure out, and also charcoal brings so many problems in that country, from violence. Many militias make more money using charcoal than actually with minerals. Corrupt politicians, corrupt army officials, you name it, lots of people involved in that charcoal trade. So we work with USAID, and we are trying to figure out what can we do quickly that can have an impact and that can be measured to slow down deforestation. And with the local team in Kinshasa, we came up, okay, LPG is the fastest solution, it's available, okay, it's not the cleanest solution, it's not renewable, but if you want to avoid deforestation, it's probably the fastest one we can roll out. We spent months discussing with people in Washington, convincing them like to support the LPG. We finally got a result-based financing grant from USAID for 30,000 connections in the town of Goma. Goma is in eastern DRC, it's around 2 million people. So we're going to do 30,000 households, so that's a lot of households in one city, and a lot of the money was also used to measure the impact, because they wanted to really understand what's the impact on the forest from the project. And so we did it. In the last, we're now at 25,000 customers in that region in the last 2 years. We're by far the largest LPG distributor in eastern DRC. But the crazy number, and I'm not selling dream, it was actually independently verified. We've actually saved 10,000 trees in like 2 years, you know, with a few $1 million subsidy to help kickstart the project. So what we did is we've brought LPG retail into the 21st century. Basically, it's called pay as you cook. We finance the cooker and the canister. We break down the barriers on affordability and technology. We digitalize fully the distribution of the system, which, you know, digitalizing it helps us manage customers, manage the cost of distribution, because the margins are quite thin on those kind of fuel. And of course, the most important, all the payments are digitally made. We've created an amazing brand. If you go to Goma today, I mean, there's not a single person in the town that doesn't know Bboxx and that doesn't know Bboxx Cook. And we spend a lot of money building that brand because LPG was completely new to most people. So we had to make LPG, you know, safe, affordable, and aspirational for those customers. But the most important, of course, with the platform that we've built and all the features is that we're able, of course, as many people before me said, we're able to like get carbon credits, we're able to get the audits and all the data in a centralized manner. And also what's important for Bboxx is that we're selling a lot more services to those customers. We have clients in Goma who have gas, electricity, smartphone, TV, satellite TV, all through Bboxx, one platform, one customer, one payment system. So that's been the journey so far. I mean, from that project, we basically even got the largest LPG trader in the world, Trafigura, to invest in Bboxx Group. We're scaling across, you know, many countries across our network. And what I would like to see is what's been happening in the solar home system space. Today, across or hundreds of thousands of sales this year, 50% of them are subsidized across Africa. Government subsidy, World Bank, or the donor program. I mean, as one of the speakers said, you know, those kind of infrastructure have often been subsidized by government. And so even though there was COVID, there's inflation, there's currency depreciation, all of that, we're still able to function in a sustainable manner. So I really hope to see that in the clean cooking space. Of course, carbon credit is catalytic, but we want to see governments, partners, donors putting in significant money, right? It's not it's not 50 million that's going to change the game in any of those countries. We need to get big numbers in there, like, you know, in the solar home system sector, it's hundreds of millions now every year being disbursed as subsidy. So that's a quick summary. We're going to continue expanding, and of course we're always looking for new technology, new fuel, new partners, new countries. So anyone in the room interested, happy to chat. Thank you.
Thanks, Laurent. So that brings us to the end of these talks this morning. And we've heard about quite a number of the innovations that are happening in clean cooking, which will be needed to accelerate to reach access for all. 10 minutes is a really short time, and this is a really difficult format to talk about innovation. So we do encourage you to all go out to the Innovation Expo. All the companies featured here today, you can go and see their products in real life, and there are further innovations that you can engage with. So there's a 30-minute networking break now, so that's a great time to go out there. There's even coffee in the expo in case that's what you're looking for. But if you could all join me one last time just to thank all of the speakers this morning.